Yeah.
They almost exclusively appear on the venous side of the body, but these white fibrous clots are appearing as well on the arterial side, on both the venous and the arterial side, which it's very uncommon for embalmers to see clots on the arterial side.
I mean, there's no question that if these were these things in arteries would just occlude the arteries, and of course you'd have a heart attack, of course you'd have a stroke. And the other thing I'm noticing, Tom, is if we look here, this has kind of got a branching structure. I think this is what you call a cast.
Yes.
It is essentially a mold from the inside of a piece of the vascular system.
That's what the embalmers believe as well, John, that it's actually taking on, like you say, the shape of the main canal and then all the tributaries running off of it. Correct.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what this is like. I mean, I can't really see anything else that would cause that. And we've got some more examples to look at, Tom, I think. So here's another example here, 6 inches long.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon, John. Many of the embalmers are finding these clots in the 6 to 10 inch range, and there's actually been some cases where they pulled clots that are 2 feet long out of people's legs. So it's an amazing, serious thing that's going on.
So it's 6 inches, 16 centimeters. And again, that one's clearly showing a bifurcation in my mind, isn't it? It's an arterial cast.
Correct.
And if that was in a vessel, I don't see any blood getting through at all. Quite incredible. Now, let's just point out that these just aren't isolated incidents. These are several. There's some more in a jar, similar to yours. Yeah.
And I spoke with embalmer Richard Hirschman recently, and Richard says that he has over 250 photos on his phone, Dr. Campbell, of clots coming out of over 250 different people. He's got examples of this white fibrous clots, as well as another issue we'll talk about called microclotting as well. So he's got photos from lots of people that he's embalmed.
Yeah, so that scalpel there, again, would be about probably 8 inches long altogether. The blade would be a couple inches long. And I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing the blood clot that you would expect.
Right.
And then these white things are just... Yeah.
On the and like I said, embalmers have been seeing those forever. They actually look and feel like grape jelly. They dissolve easily in their hands. Much different than these white fibrous clots, and much different than embalmers have been seeing chicken fat clots for years too. They're small, yellowish in color, and they tear very easily. Very different than these large white fibrous clots that are much tougher and more elastic.
Yeah, the yellow one medically, I think we call that white thrombus. It's the platelet aggregation. It's a well recognised pathological process. Just look at a few more to show these aren't just random things. These are more here. Again, very similar. Another example there. Masses of these things. I mean, what kind of volume are we getting? Like a pound of these out of someone, or
it's shocking.
500 grams. It's incredible.
Yeah. And there's different doctors and scientists around the world that are looking at the problem and trying to figure out how it's forming. There's a few theories that have come up recently. There was a paper out of Cambridge, right in your neck of the woods, Dr. Campbell, a few months ago, that talked about a process called frame shifting, where the our ribosomes might be misreading the modified RNA that they're receiving and producing about 10% of the time what's called an aberrant or nonsense protein. 90% of the time it's producing the correct spike protein that it's supposed to, but about 10% of the time it's producing a nonsense protein that then could be the formation of these white fibrous clots. So that's, and of course, amyloid is a well-known pathological protein. For example,